This is Group 2, Finland, Country Analysis, Presentation, presented by Kari Smith, Andrew, Vincent, and myself, Raven. Our outline, Kari's going to lead us off with the country background and business practices. She'll give it to myself when we'll discuss some economic situations. I'll give it to Andrew. He'll talk about the country's competitiveness and healthcare. I'll give it back to myself. We'll go over a few recommendations, wrap it up with a conclusion.
Country background. Finland is located in northern Europe between Sweden and Russia and borders the Gulf of Finland, Gulf of Bothnia, and the Baltic Sea. Finland is slightly greater than 2 times the size of Georgia and slightly smaller than Montana in the United States. The land that is now called Finland has been inhabited since about 8500 BCE and after the Ice Age. In 1917, the need for complete sovereignty to fulfill national and international duty arose. The personal union between Finland and Russia ended with the February Revolution of 1917 in Russia when the Grand Duke resigned. This prompted the Finland Parliament to take control and appoint a new government. The Declaration of Independence for Finland was created on December 6, 1917, and was approved by the highest Soviet executive body, which made Finland an independent nation. The capital city of Finland is Helsinki. The current president of Finland is Sauli Niinistö, who is part of the Independent Party. He is accompanied by Prime Minister Juha Sipilä and has a parliamentary republic government. The total population is approximately 5.537 million people and is ranked 117th in the world. Of this, 85.4% live in urban Finland, while 14.6% live in rural Finland. The life expectancy of the population is 81.1 years old, with the average life expectancy for men being 78.1 years of age and women being 84.2 years of age. The per capita of people living in the capital of Helsinki is 23.1%. Business practices. The official language of Finland is Finnish and Swedish. 87.9% of people speak Finnish and 5.2% speak Swedish. The literacy rate for Finland was 99% in 2014, and by 2018 was rounded to 100% for the entire country. This is possible as 7% of the country's GDP is dedicated towards education. The time zone in Finland is Eastern European Time, which is the Greenwich Mean Time Zone or the Coordinated Universal Time Zone, plus 2 hours. This means that Finland is 8 hours ahead of Central Standard Time in the United States. Finland has a high work participation from both men and women. The average of men who work is 78%, which is average for the EU, but 73% of women work in Finland, which is much higher than the EU average of 57%. Finland's work schedules are consistent to the EU average. The normal office hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a 1 to 2 hour lunch. The labor force in Finland is number 115th in the world with 2.473 million workers. Of this, 75.3% work in services, 20.7% work in industry, and 4% work in agriculture. The unemployment rate as of 2017 was 8.5%, which decreased from 8.8% in 2016. Finland's main challenge is high labor cost and the demand for exports. The exchange rate is 0.881 euros to 1 US dollar. Next, Raven will go over the economic situations.
The economic situation. Finland entered the European Union in 1995 and officially adopted the euro as the country's currency in January 1999 when the single currency was established, thus being the first Nordic state to do so. As a highly industrialized country, Finland has a free market economy and its per capita GDP falls just below Austria and the Netherlands, but above Germany and Belgium. Finland is competitive in several areas, including manufacturing, wood, metals, engineering, telecommunications, and the electronics industry. And the country is best in exports of technology and promotes business startups in the areas of information and communication technology as well as clean technology fields and various sectors of biotechnology. Finland does face several economic challenges such as high labor costs and the increased demand for exports. The government has taken measures by enacting a competitive tax targeted towards reducing labor costs, increase of hours worked, and trying to improve the wage bargaining system to allow for more flexibility. In addition, the healthcare system and social services reform is a topic of high concern in a population that is quickly aging. To include traditional industries are decreasing in production to include competitiveness, fiscal sustainability, and economic growth, and are among other government concerns. Finland's GDP is expected to grow 1.9% throughout 2019 and 1.6% throughout 2020. Finland scored an overall 74.9 for the economic freedom, ranking Finland's economy as the 20th freest in the world. While of the 44 European Union countries, Finland ranked 11th, making Finland's overall score excel above the regional and world averages. As of 2017, Finland's GDP purchasing power parity was 244.9 billion and ranked the country 62nd in the world. Finland's GDP composition by sector consists of agricultural at 2.7%, the industry at 28.2%, and services at 69.1%. Finland's agricultural products consist of barley, wheat, sugar beets, potatoes, dairy, cattle, and fish, while the industrial products consist of metals and metal products, electronics, machinery and scientific instruments, shipbuilding, pulp and paper, foodstuffs, chemicals, textiles, and clothing. And in 2017, the industrial production growth rate was 6.2%. The official exchange rate GDP of Finland in 2017 was 252.8 billion, while the real growth rate GDP was 2.8%, and the per capita GDP was 44,500. Much like other EU states, Finland does not have a minimum wage, but collective agreements in terms of employment determine employment terms and the minimum pay, and can also include other benefits like food and housing. These collective agreements must not be less or worse than the general binding collective agreements, and are usually determined by the employee's skill set, profession, experience, and location of the work being performed. The employer must, in connection with payment of wages, give the employee a calculation which indicates the amount of pay and the ground of its determination. Finland's wages as a last report into September 2018 were 3,470 euros or 3,935 US dollars per month. The inflation rate as of January 2019 was reported at 1.1%, and in 2017, Finland imported 65.26 billion in commodities, including items as foodstuffs, petroleum and petroleum products, chemicals, transport equipment, iron and steel, machinery, computers, electronics, industrial products, textile, yarn, and fabric, and grain. While the exports totaled 67.73 billion and included items such as electrical and optical equipment, machinery, transport equipment, paper, pulp, chemicals, basic metals, and timber. Finland's major import partners include Germany at 17.7, Sweden at 15.8, Russia at 13.1, and the Netherlands at 8.7. While Finland's major Export partnerships with Germany at 14.2, Sweden at 10.1, US at 7%, Netherlands at 6.8, China at 5.7, Russia at 5.7, and UK at 4.5.
Hello class, this is Andrew Vincent here to speak to you today about Finland and global competitiveness. After we speak about global competitiveness, we'll also move on to Finland and their healthcare system as it is today. To begin, Finland has some of the best and most prestigious universities in the world. The University of Tampere is a world-renowned university, and it's a leader in research and teaching in the health and society sectors. UTA promotes a culture of global responsibility and consists of over 35,000 students. The National Museum of Finland is an architectural wonder dating back to 1910. The National Museum of Finland represents one of the most significant national romantic works of architecture, and it also illustrates Finnish history from the medieval times to the 19th century. Moving on to clear property rights, Finland leads the global rankings of the Intellectual Property Rights Index for both intellectual and physical property rights. Finland's outstanding performance is based on consistent scores across all categories, ranking second overall in the legal and political sub-index, fifth in the physical property rights sub-index, and first in the intellectual rights sub-index. Finland offers an exceptional level of institutional stability combined with a strong and dynamic innovation environment. Finland is a leader or among the top 3 countries globally in the areas of judicial independence, rule of law, and control of corruption. The Finnish court system is broken out into 3 differing sectors, including the general courts of law, administrative courts, and special courts. The Supreme Court consists of a president and 18 other justices, usually working in 5-judge panels. There is a strong link between the judiciary system and the executive branch of the Finnish government. Finland has a unitary and legal and political system. Branches of the government are in constant communication with one another, and Finnish citizens report high trust in the justice system, including the police and overall federal government. Finland is also a leader when it comes to innovation. With 5 Finns who have now won the Nobel Peace Prize, Finland is now the source for innovation in Europe. In 2014 alone, there were over 460 million euros invested in Finnish startup companies. Most startup companies are famous for their endeavors in recycling, education, compensating for emissions, and making new sustainable resources. Additionally, 32% of total energy used in Finland is now renewable energy, most of which goes back to some of these startup companies. Finland also hosts the worldwide event called the Slush event, and it actually connects Finnish startup companies with venture capitalists from all over the world. Finland is consistently ranking in the top 10 most competitive countries in the world as it relates to technological advancement and innovation. Finland also offers an exceptional communications technology ecosystem for global companies with outstanding connectivity expertise and mastery of new technologies. Finland has by far the highest mobile data usage per person in the world, and it also has the second highest mobile broadband penetration rate. Finland also leads the way in 5G test network, and it's considered some of the most advanced technologies in the world at this time, which brings together leading global connectivity companies with its operators. 3 major mobile companies also have high regard in Finland. This includes Nokia, Ericsson, and Huawei. Internet, radio, and TV ownership per person is also extremely high in Finland. As of 2016, there was 4.8 million estimated internet users. This translates to almost 88% of the overall population. Finland ranks 77th in internet usage worldwide. There's also 3 publicly operated TV stations and numerous privately owned TV stations. There's also several free and special interest pay-per-view TV stations. There's also a lot of internet television available, such as Netflix and other streaming services that are available in the United States. Um, as far as radio stations go, there's 13 national and 25 regional radio stations, and there's also a wide variety of internet radio options available in Finland. Looking at Finnish roadways, roadways are well managed and maintained regularly in Finland. There are over 454,000 kilometers of roadways in Finland. 350,000 kilometers of the total roadways in Finland are classified as either private or forest roads. There are a total of 78,000 kilometers of highway, 75% of which are estimated to be paved, and Finland ranks 13th worldwide in roadways. Looking at Finnish waterways, the Saimaa Canal system accounts for over 3,500 kilometers of the total 8,000 kilometers of Finnish waterway. The Saimaa Canal system is a navigable channel of inland waterways and canals that dominates the southern portion of the country. The 120 interconnected lakes of the south central and southeast part of Finland are reached through this canal. Finland ranks 17th globally in waterways. There are also many airports and other modes of transportation in Finland. As of 2013, Finland hosted 148 airports, 74 which were paid, 74 were unpaid. This ranks them 39th worldwide in airports. Helsinki Airport is the largest airport in Finland and handled over 20 million passengers in 2018. Additionally, Finland has almost 66,000 kilometers of railways connecting the country, and the Finnish Transport Agency does a great job at maintaining the rail network that serves all major cities and many rural areas across the country. Now moving on to the Finnish healthcare system, life expectancy rates in Finland are extremely high. The total population averages over 81 years, with males averaging over 78 years of age and females averaging over 84 years of age. Health services are available to all in Finland, regardless of their financial situation. Public health services are mainly financed from tax revenues. With that being said, Finland spends less than 7% of its gross national product on healthcare, making it one of the lowest among EU member states. Finland is divided into 450 municipalities. Each municipality is responsible for arranging healthcare for its inhabitants. Primary health care is provided by health centers established by a single municipality or jointly or by neighboring municipalities. These areas have the right to buy services from neighboring services or from the private sector. Health center services include medical consultations and provision of dental care, preventative care, and environmental health care. Finland has 5 university hospitals spread throughout the country. These provide the most advanced medical care, including highly specialized surgeries and treatment for rare diseases for its citizens. There are also a few small private hospitals. Only about 8% of Finnish doctors actually earn their living solely working in private hospitals. The amount of bed space available in Finnish hospitals is generally quite high. However, recent trends over the past few years have shown that hospitals in Finland have started to reduce the number of emergency units in order to save costs and reduce doctor workload. Looking at the hospital bed analysis, there are actually 4.4 beds available per 1,000 people. This was as of 2015. And then doing a physician's analysis, we found that 3.2 physicians are available per 1,000 people. This concludes the portion over healthcare. Thank you very much.
While Finland boasts some exceptional stats in regards to personal property and intellectual property rights, to include others, they do have room for improvement regarding economic freedom in a few other economical areas. Some of these areas we've identified are as follows. To start, Finland needs to improve their economic freedom. While it's pretty good, it doesn't really match the property rights in mostly high rankings. Finland is suffering from high labor costs. This could be for several reasons. From and many of these either directly or indirectly affect some of the other areas we've identified. High labor costs can be contributed to employee wages, highly skilled workforce, under and or over educated workforce, support labor, etc. Another area is Finland has an increased demand in exports. With an increase in the demand of exports, this can affect the workforce by requiring more products produced and or manufactured, which requires more materials that either include the country's natural or raw materials or produced resources, or an increase in imported raw materials. This with an increased demand on ports, terminals, shipping freight, which directly affects requirements for increased personnel, working hours, materials, and overhead to operate, as well as an increase in fuel for shipping and an increase of products. This also can be looked back on as the high labor cost problem. Finland's wage bargaining is very interesting, as from what we understand, it's somewhat like the United States' salary scale. However, every employer must establish these agreements with every employee. This seems time-consuming, and there doesn't really seem to be any governance over enforcing the so-called wage norm or the general binding collective agreement. While it does seem to be some benefit to be able to include food and or housing into these agreements, we believe some improvements should be made to establish and enforce norms, not per se to establish a minimum wage, but at least to establish skilled wages. While Finland did enact the Competitiveness Pact to expand employees' working hours, it should be expanded upon. Some areas to possibly include are, as stated above, establishing skill wages, vacation time, and added for holidays and personal leave, and potentially maternity leave. While the country provides health and social services, this would stand to be reformed. The country does provide healthcare, education, and housing for its citizens, but it can indirectly affect the higher labor costs, especially with Finland's aging population. As they age, it will put a higher demand on the healthcare system. Other areas are decreasing productivity in traditional industries. As the aging population is not able to accomplish these jobs, the younger population seeks to be more educated and innovative, therefore leaving the traditional industries and decreasing the skilled labor pool of these areas. If this balance is off kilter for an exceedingly amount of time, this will put an increased demand on some of these industries, possibly affecting higher wages and more probability of increasing imports. Another area Finland could work to increase is boosting their tourism. Finland has many ways to captivate tourists: history, natural beauty, diversity, culture, etc. And they should spend a little time and money into marketing this to the world. In conclusion, today we discussed the country's background, the business practices, economic situation, competitiveness, healthcare, and recommendations. And to conclude our presentation, I hope you enjoyed it. The next two slides just shows our references as I go through them.